right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the K2 booth at 814 here at RE Plus 2022 in Anaheim, California, and we are here with Michael from SMA. Welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We just met earlier today with Brandon Davis, went over some of the new products that you guys have, and we're also going to go over one of the digital solutions that you have today. So here at K2, we've had a configurator called Base for years. We've continued to optimize it for all of the performance needs out there that the installer community and design community wishes to have. You can find Base on our website at k2systems.com. It's right here at the top. I already have a login as a product development team here at Base, so if I click on it, it'll immediately recognize you. But if you want to sign up for Base, it's very simple to do. All it requires is an email address and your own password, and we will initiate your account rapidly. So what we're going to go over today is designing an array, and we're going to take that exact array and we're going to export it over to Michael, who's going to show us how to use the SMA Sunny Design tool. So the two tools are integrated together and they talk together. So whatever we do in Base, you will find over at the Sunny Design tool. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and go to our website. I'm going to click on Base. It's going to recognize me immediately. So I'm going to actually start a brand new project. I went a little too fast for everybody right there. So when you do sign into Base, it'll land you right here at the splash page right here, which has your dashboard. It has traditional menu type buttons, which are on the left-hand side. You can open any new projects by clicking the button. You can open existing projects. The system is optimized to automatically save everything that you're doing, so you don't have to manually click the save button. There's no need to do that. And you can also download the project. And for instance, if I wanted to share that with anybody else who has a login to Base, they can actually open up the project wherever you left off, or critique anything that you asked to be finished or things like that. So it's very easy to share projects with my team members. If I own an installation company, it's very easy to share any of those designs with any of my sales team, things like that. So it's really optimized to make sure that you have a lot of ability to pivot and do whatever you wish. We also have a new undo redo button. Any kind of news and video tutorials are right here. If you have FAQs, click on the FAQs button. And of course, last but not least, we do have our Sherpa button, which will allow you to chat instantly with our technical sales team here at our headquarters in Oceanside, California. You can do that via WhatsApp, or you can do that via Apple iMessage. Very simple to do. Let's go back to the dashboard. So here on the dashboard, I'm in list view. You can see all the projects that I constantly drive through. But today for you guys, we're going to actually start a new project. So I'm going to click the new project button. It knows that I'm here in the United States per my login information, so it's going to take me to the middle of the United States. To start a new project, you just have to click the new project button and make sure that you have an address. We do understand that almost all projects will have a location, so we do have to make sure that we utilize that. I know a perfect little house in the Bay Area that's a little bit further out there, so let's go to this house out in suburbia here. Nice corner lot with a big pool, and they definitely probably have a lot of electricity needs. This is a 2-story house with comp shingle, and we're going to be able to actually design anything that we want on this house. So let's try to make sure we hit a kilowatt target of at least 7 kilowatts on this house. The only thing you require, like I said, at this first stage in the project stage is an actual address and then a project name. You'll notice here on the tool that it actually takes you to the project, and you'll notice these other unhighlighted areas which are called loads, roof, design results, and then finally summary. And with that said, let's go ahead and go through the tool. We've designed this so it doesn't actually, you can't get lost through the tool as you continue to go through it. So I'm going to go ahead and name this Corner House. And if you'd like to, you can put in any other information here, like installation dates. Those can be pivoted to your CRM if you have connections to that as well. And we're going to be using the design method of ASCE 716. This is the default design method here in the United States. And any other client information that I'd like to put in here, you can see that I'm the author of the project. And these are all elective fields down here if you want to put in a phone number, first, last name of your client, or any tags that you might use across the software that you have at your company. So like I said, the only thing you do need is your actual your project address and your actual project name. Let's go ahead and click add. And then after that, it'll take me over to the loads. This is where we actually review the wind loads that are in the area. It takes your zip code and takes any historical weather information and plugs it in. I'm going to go ahead and click OK through that. it looks like it automatically knows that our wind speed in the area is just underneath 92 miles. So we are going to select that this is a home, so it is an urban suburban dwelling, and this information also transfers over to the SMA Sunny Design tool. After we've established that, you can see here that we're going to click through to click continue, and it'll take us to the actual roof portion of the page. So right now we're actually going to select what type of roof and construct that we're going to actually install onto this house. So what is this house? It is a gabled roof. It's a 2-story home. So we offer flat roof, mono-pitch, gabled, and a hipped roof. This house doesn't have any hips. It just has 2 floors that are both gabled floors. So let's go ahead and select gabled. And we're going to draw a rectangle on this surface right here on the 2nd floor. Actually, let's start on the 1st floor, excuse me. It also asks us, what type of roof covering is this? We have the options of selecting tile, trapezoidal, stainless, and standing seam, and also flat roof for gravel. I'm going to go ahead and click composition shingle, and if you'd like to, you can put in any roof information that you want over here. If you want to put like roof 1, like maybe in the front yard, there you go. Hit add, and then after you do that, you'll notice that my mouse turns into a cursor here, and we'll be able to draw the roof right here. So let's go ahead and just inline dimension across this roof. We're shooting for just about 38 feet, 37.9 is just fine, and we'll go ahead and draw over the top of this as well. We drag up, and it'll give us our dimensions on perpendicularly up the roof. And after we land on this portion of the page, we can establish what the building height is and what the roof pitch is. So it'll default to about a 32-foot structure, and this is about a 22-degree pitch. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and it's going to give us the ability to choose our modules. One last check on any of the weather information. If there's any finer details that we'd like to put into the tool, we can place it in here. So you'll notice now that our next tab coming up is design. So what it's telling us here is if there are any obstructions that we'd like to classify. We do have a couple of them right here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to place the modules on the opposing sides of that. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue through here. Now we're at the modules portion of the page. This is where, oh, sorry, I clicked too fast. This is where you actually get to pick through a vast library of different modules that are used across the industry. But if you want to concatenate that list down to exactly what's UL listed for our system, you can just go ahead and click the UL listed button. So what we actually do is we take all of that module information, the weight of the module, the dimensions of the module, the wattage of the module, and we're able to plug that into this library. And this information actually does go over to the SMA tool as well. So it also, in the list form, it'll remember the module that you use the most. It noticed that I used the Q-cell module here, so it actually populated that first, but all of them are down in this list, all the modules that we are UL listed with here in that list. So we do have, like I said, it does remember what modules you use, so I'm going to go ahead and use this G9 Plus, this 380. After that, you can see here towards the bottom, it will actually see the dimensions, length, width, and the weight of the module, and of course the output. Let's click continue. It's going to ask me what type of system that I would like to install on this roof. Would I like a shared rail install, or most commonly a dual rail install? So I'll go ahead and click Crossrail. You have the ability for the tool to just fill out the entire area with the roof if you'd like. So you can hit complete roof, or you can do module array, and we can individually draw the array size. After that, we do have the system that I chose is optimized for a flush attach, or AKA parallel attach, and we're going to select the orientation of the modules. Let's do portrait today. After that, I'll click add, and it'll say, hey, go ahead and draw the array across that roof. So we'll start here, in inline dimensions as well, right on top of that roof layer. So it looks like we were able to get a minimum of 10 by 10 modules across that roof. It is optimized for our Crossrail system. If you want to change any of the orientation on this, you can go to this drop-down menu. We can always pivot it to landscape if you want to, or you can pivot it back to portrait. It looks like we're able to do both of this. Since we are utilizing rail on this system, we actually want to reduce the amount of penetrations, so we're going to go with portrait because the module length is actually better for this type of roof. So let's switch it back to portrait, just showing you some of the features of that. And also the wattage output and quantity of modules will show up in the Sunny Design tool. So we're one more tab to get there. Whoops, zoomed in a little too fast, sorry there guys. One more tab and we're able to get there. And we'll be able to go to the summary and then export this project over to the SMA tool. top-down look of actually what the racking system will be configured like, in line with your rafters. Of course, we stagger the mounting equipment across the roof. It'll also show your rail connections as well. So after looking at a top-down look at the tool, it was telling me that everything is okay. I can actually pivot to any of the equipment, the vast library of mounts that we have here at the booth. So I can go ahead and select one of our premier products, which is our SpliceFoot XL with the EverSeal built in. It'll automatically select that many mounts for you. And we're going to be using our highest adopted rail, which is the 44X. And then after that, I can select dark or mill finish. Most people like to use mill finish because it's very competitively priced. Any accessories that I'd like to put onto this system are already here. We will be using rail-mounted MLPE, like an optimizer or anything like that, so it'll give you that hardware. Wire management clips. Wire management's a big deal, so it's selecting it for us as well. And after that, I can hit continue, and it'll take me over to the results tab. And one more time, giving me a structural analysis of the roof real quick, and then I'm able to go to summary. And at this final stage right here, we're able to get 1, our bill of materials, 2, the maximum output of the system. It quantifies exactly how many modules that we have on the roof, what the output is, and if we go over here, we can go look at some images of the equipment. Cool. So very nice, very easy, very simple to use. I was over to this stage in just about under 12 to 13 clicks. So after that, if I scroll down here, you'll notice that we have a suite of options down here. So we can always generate a K2 report, which will give you a structural analysis. All of the static information that we input into the system will be there: address, contact information, module selection, everything. And with that said, we also have our Inverter Designer button that we offer. We host SMA, we host other brands as well. And as soon as I click this, it'll integrate everything that I've done in Base over to Mike. So when I click this, it'll open up a new tab, and we can go over to Sunny Design. Let me just log in real quick. It should remember me. And there it is. And give it one more second. We were just there. Excellent. So Mike, we have now landed on Sunny Design with our corner house in Pleasanton, California, with 20 modules and a 7.6 kilowatt system.
Exactly, and so the Base Design tool has imported project name. We have some ways to sort on project status, but you see the address came in. So while there's a visual roof planning tool in Sunny Design, the Base tool has taken all of that load. We don't need to go through that again. We see that they have the address, it's located on the map. We can see the metrologic data that's going to be used and kind of the distance from that address if you wish to adjust that. An important thing to make sure you have selected correctly in the Sunny Design tool is the inverter grid connection shown under that map. You should check the native grid voltage that the inverter you want to use works at. So for a residential design, 12240. For our Core 1, it would be 277-480. That's important because if you don't select that correctly, you won't see the inverters you're expecting in the next tab.
And so Mike, that's right here in this drop-down menu,
exactly.
Correct?
So pull that, and since we're in North America, common North American voltage will be shown. As Brandon said, we're a worldwide company, so there's lots of other stuff that's sorted below, but the expected ones are at the top. So we'll choose here the 240, 120-240 for residential.
Fantastic.
And as we go down, you'll see locations, you'll see some information is here, or project details. Very important here is the temperature settings. You'll see that we've pulled in a minimum and maximum. This is from a European database, and there's no guarantee these numbers will exactly match ASHRAE data, which is generally considered kind of a gold standard in the US for starting a project design. So check those. It's definitely on the designer to verify that what is shown in the tool is appropriate. And if it's not, it's very easy. You just go over to the edit button. You'll see the min and max shown, and you can adjust those manually as needed for your design philosophy or for code requirements. So very easy to adjust, but please make sure you verify those numbers are correct. Once you have, you click OK. And at this point, really, I think we're pretty good. We'll scroll down a little bit. There's some other things that you can tailor, like yield losses, but we're going to skip over that for now. So the important thing was the grid voltage to make sure you get the correct inverter and the temperature range for the design. That's really the important bit on this screen, and then we'll continue on to the configuration. And we'll see more of the importing details that have come in from the Base tool. It's saving you a bunch of time, so you don't have to go through the visual roof planner. We've got the simple design that's pulled in, the 380 modules we selected, 20 of them, And we see, I don't know if everyone paid attention to the adjustment of the 22-degree roof tilt, that imported. And 21, I'll trust that. It was a little bit to the west of south, so it's importing the roof mounting style, the orientation, the tilt, the modules, and the number of modules. So all of the heavy lifting has been done by the base tool. And we're ready to go to the easy part for this tool, which is just the inverter selection. So we'll scroll.
Michael, it looks like if we had multiple arrays on this house on multiple roofs, all of the information from that has been able to come over too. So quantity of modules and the name of the roof as well. So this is very important for making sure that you're optimizing strings, yes?
Most definitely.
Okay, so let's continue on.
And so generally on the inverter design selection, you see that design select suggestions is highlighted. You can manually adjust things, but what we like to do is go into this design selection suggestions window and see what the tool is prompting us. You may get questions of, do you want to mix and match inverters? We're okay for the Sunny Boy line, there's only one, so we're good. And we'll click OK to get to the actual suggestions for the tool for the inverter choice.
Leave it on 2 or switch to 1.
That's fine. Go ahead and click OK. And we'll see, we chose 12240 for residential voltage, so our residential products are highlighted. This is what I meant. If you don't choose the right voltage, you may see the wrong type of inverter selected, and you'd have to go back and change the voltage to get the device you want. So for residential design, we wanted that 12240. We see all of the Sunny Boy types as available, but we see a ranked list of the design choices that the tool feels would be best for this specific design. And you can see they're ranked really by energy yield and rating. Okay. So we see at the top here, very little difference between a 7.0 and a 7.7. So if you want to say, what's the real difference between them? If we select both of them, down here at the bottom, you'll be able to compare selections. So you can get a quick kind of peek of what the tool is telling you the two choices will give you. And so we'll see with the 7.7 or with the 7.0. And the annual energy yield is usually what's most important to a designer. You'll see that those numbers are almost identical.
Yeah.
So you're really not gaining anything by having the bigger inverter. There may be a desire for the homeowner to do that, but if you can save money with the 7.0, this is going to be the logical choice for this design. So you can go ahead and say, hey, if I've made my mind up, if you click Adopt Design, you will import that choice into the tool and we can go forward.
Excellent.
So we've picked the inverter. What I want to do is open the little caret here for we see all of this information. You can see information and solutions. We get shade fix, very nice. So
nice.
That's fine. We can go ahead and close that or just scroll down a little bit. One thing I want to say before you go much further, you can see the design tool has wired the modules up into this array as 2 strings of 10 paralleled into A and B input channel. The design tool sometimes does things that aren't logical for ease of installation for installers. They may make the most energy, but if it causes you time or money on the roof, it's not a good choice. So we're going to switch out of the parallel mode installation on the Sunny Boy. If we scroll up a little bit, we can choose if we actually go ahead and click on that. Thank you, the stringing. We see that we have what was chosen, the parallel mode connection, or what we'll call standard. So each individual string would go to an input channel on the inverter. So we're going to switch over to standard for this. Definitely is a little easier, I think, for install crews to understand than splicing things together. And we see below we have A, B, and C. And what that represents is our Sunny Boy line has 3 maximum PowerPoint tracking channel inputs. So A, B, and C reflect those 3 inputs. Okay. And we've populated with roof 1 front yard array, 1 string of 11 into A, 1 of 5 into B, and 1 of 4 into C. Okay. Again, may not be what an installer would think of as is easiest to do. And generally the Sunny Boys will be most efficient at higher DC voltages. So I would say we override the tool, its brutal calculations, and go logically and have 1 string of 10 and 1 string of 10. Okay. That's going to reduce the frequency of screw-ups on the roof. Okay. So simply by choosing the up and down carets, you can change the number of modules per string.
So go over here and adjust.
I would say go ahead and do that to 1 of 10.
Okay.
We reduce A to 10 as well, the one up top. And then we can go ahead and over here on the roof 1 front yard for C.
Yes.
Click that, the down arrow over here to a little more to the left, all the way to the left, to the name here.
Okay.
and you should be able to disconnect that. Yeah, you
Oh,
click the
so-
dash. So we're just taking everything out of C. So now we have one
Okay.
string of 10 into A, one string of 10 into B. And before we see what the results are for that, I want to point two things out. You see under the strings, it's saying that one string will go up to the limit for current on the input of the inverter. If we go past one, it's too much.
Okay.
Similarly, for the PV modules, it's showing the minimum voltage is attained by 4 modules in a string. And if we go more than 12, we're going to go over the 600 volt DC limit of the inverter. So it's showing you the range of choices under what you've selected. So
Interesting.
we're happy now with our design choice, and we can click OK in the top right. And that may change the energy yield a little bit, but I think it will be much more straightforward for the install crew to do this correctly.
Yes.
And there was no problem on the roof. You're very easy to have 2 strings of 10. That was the first row and then the second row. So that'll be a very easy install for the team. And here we want to check to make sure we saw the range of modules per string we could go and the number of strings, but we want to check the green check marks for voltage primarily, but also current to make sure that it is okay. So we're well under the 600 volt limit.
Good.
We're well under the 18 amp short circuit limit. And you'll see we're right, it says 10.1 amps is the usable current limit right at the tool. If you're concerned that the operational current is above the current limit for the operation of the Sunny Boy, if we scroll up a little bit, there is an energy usability factor metric shown here.
Okay.
If the tool ever calculates that for whatever reason the strings you're putting into the inverter will need to be clipped, if there's a power limit or a current limit on the inputs of the Sunny Boy, this number would be below 100%.
Okay.
So even though it showed 10.1 amps there, it's not saying that that's going to be, anything more than 0.1% impact on the annual energy yield. So I think we're very good, even though you see something slightly more than 10.
Fantastic.
So we're very good here. If we scroll up a little bit, the important thing, we have the energy yield for the year for the tool. And there's also, generally folks will come by, maybe not so much for residential, but our commercial systems, we have a spec sheet DC to AC ratio. Specifically for our commercial inverters, a lot of people want to exceed that data sheet ratio. So the tool will tell you if you exceed that, and a way to, without voiding the warranty, safely exceed that data sheet ratio is also shown by this tool. So if we can scroll up a little bit.
Yes.
A little
bit
bit
further?
more. Yeah. There. I'm missing it now. Let's go down. Sorry, where am I? There we go. Min max. Okay, what am I missing? Where's the full load? Just scroll down a little bit. Huh. Okay, I'm not seeing what I expected to see there for the full load hours. Is there a menu we did not pull down? Let me click on that, but that's not what I want. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's moved on me.
Inverter design.
Yeah, no, you had it. I didn't see it.
Oh, sorry.
It's perfect. Go ahead and open that. So we have the annual energy yield. Wasn't where I
Right there.
expected. But the full load hours metric is the metric that you need to look at to safely
Okay.
exceed the data sheet DC to AC ratio. If you were going over that data sheet ratio, we're going to ask you to do the specific design, and that full load hours number has to be under 2,400 hours. And that means that the inverter is under 2,400 hours means per year. So it's saying that over a year, less than 2,400 hours at full capacity.
Okay.
And we figure the inverter can be safely loaded up to that limit per year, and we're happy warranting it for 20 years. More than that, we're going to have a concern. So that's the way to safely exceed the data sheet DC to AC ratio on our systems. But I'm very happy with all the green check marks. We see the full load hours, the specific energy yield.
Good.
The base tool has done all of the heavy lifting on the design and imported everything, so we can just look at the inverter. And so I'm very happy with this single inverter, and it was far simpler to use our tool because of all of the work that the base tool did. So with only a few clicks, we have successfully designed the inverter part of this system.
Yep. And just to make sure everybody has a common understanding of what we actually accomplished today, so what we decided to do today was basically take this small residential system, and all of the fine details of your project have now been pushed over to Sunny Design, so you can go in and configure your inverter, make sure that you have the right settings, make sure that you have the right equipment, and do any kind of string assessment for the circuit, so that your inverter and your entire system can perform at a top notch. What else are we going over, Michael?
I think that's probably fine, and the
Excellent.
Sunny Design tool can spit out project documentation, so you can add some of those sheets about the inverter selection to the
Absolutely.
documentation that the base tool puts out, but that is a far more involved balance of material, bill of materials production. So I think, very little extra documentation that the Sunny Design tool adds. I think the base tool is taking most of the heavy lifting, and the integration, I think, is very, very, very easy to use and employ.
Yeah, we're very happy that you came to show us actually all the features of this. Let me ask you this. So if our team, if we're a residential installation outfit, if we were using Sunny Design and I had maybe 3 team members who do design at my actual business, can they share projects between each other with Sunny Design?
Very easily. You have kind of the download arrow there. You can export project files as the...
My Sunny Design? Oh, right here, right here.
Yeah.
Sorry, the download arrow.
There
you go.
So you can save project. That second choice, actually the third one, save as Sunny Design project file. And again, you can export the design file in the Sunny Design format, share that with any coworkers. They can just open up their account, pull it in. On the home screen, there is an import project file. They can just pull that in and start working with it. So very, very easy to share.
Fantastic, Michael. A very, very dynamic tool, has a lot of features packed into it, a lot of solutions, and you guys have more inverters than I think just about anybody in the industry, right? And they're all in this tool?
Yes, they are.
Fantastic,
yes, they are.
Fantastic. Well, Michael, I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us all of the features of Sunny Design and having Brandon speak with us about some of the new products that you guys have. Please go visit SMA's booth. They're great people with great customer service and also great products. So
awesome.
We appreciate you guys stopping by
Indeed.
today.
Thank you,
everybody
Nick.
here at
Really
RE Plus, thank you for coming to see K2 and SMA.
Thank you much.